upskilling and reskilling their workforces on the latest technology trends in professional development and leadership trainings. We offer a wide range of innovative technology solutions, training, and career placements for businesses and individuals. My name is Ajay Kumar, manager at CCS Learning Academy. I've been in the technology and professional training sector for over a decade. I work with students, organizations, leaders for their professional development. We'll be running a live Q&A at the end of the webinar. We have added our Ask a Question feature. It is on the bottom of your screen. So if you have any question, just put them in there. Today we have a well-respected subject matter expert, trainer, and speaker. Please welcome Nitin Gupta. Nitin, you can take it from here. Thanks.
Thank you very much. And I hope I'm perfectly audible.
Yeah, you are.
Perfect. Thank you. So as discussed, today we are going to present a session on the Azure, and Azure basically provides lots of services in terms of data, in terms of networking, in terms of e-commerce, in terms of mobile application. So today's session is basically dedicated to data concepts because it is the most important entity for every organization. So how to manage data in the cloud, what are the key concepts, what precaution we have to take, what are the basic insights that data can give us for any businesses, how the cloud can be advantageous for getting the data insights. So everything will be discussed in this session. So let me talk about myself. So I am Nitin Gupta, and I've been working in CCS for the last 8 years. And I'm Microsoft certified trainer with 10+ years of experience, right? And supporting different clients on data side in different location, for example, UK, US, India, and Costa Rica location. So let's talk about today's agenda. First, we will see a little bit just introduction about the Microsoft Azure, because that's very important. Then we'll talk about our dedicated session that is focused on data side. So we are going to discuss on what is data fundamental services from Azure. Okay. Data migration performance, because that is very important part to be discussed. So we can get an idea what's the difference between the on-premise technology and the cloud technology. Okay. Then we'll discuss types of data services. So here you will get a proper insights, what data services Azure offers us and how we can take the advantage of them. Different business organizations have different needs also, guys, right? So in this case, it's not like this every service suitable for every company or every organization. So what are the key components that need to be discussed over there? I will let you know. Okay. Certifications. So certifications basically make our resume more impressive, more heavier when you're applying for the job. So what different certification we can have after doing the data services from the Azure, I'll let you know. And what job prospects you can have, what's the salary structure, possible salary structure in US, we'll discuss over there. So let's start from the Microsoft Azure, right? So guys, Microsoft Azure is a cloud computing platform with an ever-expanding set of services to help you build solutions to meet your business goals. Okay. So cloud computing is not a new thing, guys. Today we have lots of different service providers who are offering cloud services. So we have Azure, we have AWS, we have Snowflake, right? GCP is there. So similar, Microsoft basically providing this cloud computing platform with the name of Azure. Okay. And it is going to provide you some services, as you can see in this line, ever expanding set of services, right? So there's no limitation. It totally depends upon you up to how much scale up you are going to provide your services. So there might be possibility that you are having some storage space or some compute size on the networks, or you want to scale up your architecture in the cloud. There's no limitation. It totally depends up to what limit we want the services, what our customers, do we need to provide them services 24/7 without any interruption with a minimum response time, right? Okay. So in this case, we are going to deliver these services with the help of Azure, and that will be build solutions to meet your business goals. Okay. So Azure provides a wealth of cloud-based services like remote storage, database hosting, and centralized account management. So these are some couple of services which I wrote, but if I talk about Microsoft Azure, it provides more than 600 services. And those 600 services are distributed across databases, across storages, across, I would say, account management, Active Directory. Then if I'm talking about the virtual machines, right? Mobile applications. So different things are there. So our session today is going to be dedicated on database hosting, data services. Okay. Azure platform is frequently used for backup and disaster recovery. So guys, a very basic question comes to the picture, and I hope some of you also know the answer and all of you know the answer. Why cloud, right? So guys, Microsoft Azure is a cloud platform that provides the advantage of multiple things. For example, first, scalability, right? That is very difficult to implement in the on-premise architecture. So when we basically work on the on-premise hardware, on-premise resources, on-premise databases, we have to be ready for scaling up the architecture. So let's say today we have a company which is supporting, let's say 1000 client, and we are getting a very exponential growth of this company. And within 1 year, we have got 1000 to 10,000 client, right? We have reached up, or there might be possibility 50,000 client. So in this case, we should be having the proper infrastructure in terms of IT services that should be able to meet up the demand in the future. So in this case, without worrying about this part from the information technology side, because it will be very difficult in the on-premise architecture to scale up the size of the hardware, resource, and every single thing, right? So can we get this kind of solution from the cloud? Yes, very easily. So cloud gives you a SaaS-based services that's called software as a service. It provides you a platform, and this a web portal platform where you are able to control your entire architecture, and within a few clicks, you are able to expand your services from 1 GB to 1 TB, or 1 TB to 10 TB. If you want to scale up the compute architecture in terms of RAM, in terms of processing power, it's just a matter of few clicks. It will show you the costing architecture. And if you think, yes, that this architecture is able to meet my demand for the future because I have to provide excellent services to my customer and client 24 by 7, in this particular case, this costing will be adjusting this customer satisfaction. Definitely, we can get this advantage from the cloud platform, right? So that's called scalability. Second advantage is maintenance-free environment, right? Maintenance is the biggest problem for the on-premise architecture. So if I talk about the on-premise architecture, we have to maintain security, right? We have to implement all the authentication. We have to implement, I would say, backup, replication. If something happens to my database or something happens to my system, we must be having a mirror replication, a mirror image of that server. So that system takes place in the case of any problem occurs in the organization, right? So all these things are called maintenance. A big amount of every company goes into that maintenance services. But if we work on the Microsoft Azure cloud platform, these things are completely eliminated from your organization. These things will be taken care by the Azure, and you have to just pay the cost that is going to be paid as a service provider, right? Because they are providing you a service, so we have to pay the cost that makes sure your services are running 24 by 7. You do not have to worry about any backup, any recovery, any disaster problem. And that thing will be also taken care by what? By the cloud. Okay. So that is what you can see in this third bullet point. So many organizations use Azure for archival storage in order to meet their long-term data retention or disaster recovery requirements. Azure provides complete SLA. SLA stands for service level agreement, that makes sure you are getting service, that you are getting all the requirements, all the data 24 by 7, 365 days without any problem, right? And it provides highest standards, 99.99% SLA as per its benchmark standard. Okay. Reduce cost and complexity with a highly secure cloud foundation managed by the Microsoft. So guys, it provides multi-layered built-in security controls and unique threat intelligence from the Azure to help identify and protect against rapidly evolving threats. A very common question comes to the picture, guys. Why should we put our data, which is very important entity for the organization, in the cloud? Will it be secure? There might be chances that data can be exposed to other person or other organization. How I can make sure that my data is secure, right? So guys, Azure and other cloud platform I'm talking also, they build a trust since multiple years, okay? Because today we have more than 40 million customers in the cloud, from individual customers to the high, I would say, organizations and enterprise company also, right? So how this trust has been built? Because Microsoft Azure is providing complete security with different multi-layered architecture, with different protocols, with different threat intelligence services that make sure that my data is always secure. Okay, and nobody is able to access, any unauthorized person is not able to access that data. Azure provides solution for all the industries through proven combination of cloud products and services, and delivers unparalleled developer productivity. So Microsoft Azure makes sure that the client should be focused on what? On the work. They should not be focused on the maintenance services. So just for example, if you have some on-premise hardware or on-premise server, okay, you are doing your development work, database development, front-end development, programming, but at the same time, you have to also take care of what? Scalability issue, elasticity issue, fluctuation of resources, backup, recovery. All these things will be taken care by the cloud. And what Microsoft says, that leave these things to us, and you can completely focus on what? On the development activity. So that increases the productivity of the client, of the customer, that he's completely focusing on what? Development jobs, but he's not worried about how my backup will be taken, how the replication will be done, how disaster recovery will be planned, how the storage will be replicated. Nothing. You do not have to worry about all these things. So it makes sure you are completely focusing on what? The client development rather than performing the maintenance activities, right? So the previous slide was all about some basic concepts, which is common to every service of the Azure. And as I discussed last time, that it provides more than 600 plus services. So guys, today is our focus on which services, guys? Data services, right? So why data? So as we know, data is the most important entity for every organization. And lots of jobs today are constructed around what? Data. So if I'm talking about data science, data analytics, business intelligence, all these are focusing on what, guys? Data, right? So in order to work on these services, we should be having a very good idea about databases, right? The relational database concepts, structured and non-structured data, right? How we can basically migrate data from our own system to the cloud or vice versa, okay? How we can represent that data with the help of reports and dashboards, right? How we can clean the data to make sure I do not have any error or any problem in the data, how we can integrate data from different sources, right? So there might be a possibility that I have a couple of customers. One of the customer brought data into a CSV file, second brought the data into the Excel file, third one brought data into the SQL Server table. So these are completely different format. So how we can combine those formats and integrate data into a centralized location so we can focus on data analytics, right? Everything basically that is all about data, and all solution regarding data. I would say one-stop solution about the data is provided to us by what? Azure. So it makes sure that you are not uh, utilizing any, I would say, the on-premise software to implement the operation for ETL activity, transform activity. So you are able to utilize the data services of the cloud that would be helping you to extract data from different sources, integrate data, performing transformation, writing business logic, clean the data, and finally that data can be utilized for reporting in dashboards that our end users, stakeholders, high-end person like CEO, CFO, and all these persons can use this data and understand about your sales operation, about your profits, about losses, about quarterly benefits with the help of reports and dashboards. Okay. So Azure is commonly used as a platform for what? Hosting databases in the cloud. So this is a very important part, guys. So a couple of you might be having some idea about databases, right? So we have some important vendors in our IT environment that you might have heard of. So we have Oracle, right? We have SQL Server. We have MySQL. We have IBM DB2 database, right? So different databases are there, which are widely utilized in all over the world from different organization. It totally depends upon what is the suitability of the company according to the vendor. Okay. So Microsoft Azure is commonly used as what? A platform for hosting database. So rather than we are hosting our database on premises in a particular company environment, I want to put that database or deploy that database in the cloud, right? So as I told you last time, what advantage we are getting? You do not have to worry about any maintenance activity. Because guys, data is the very important part. If a single row, a single record is going to be deleted or destroyed or updated without any information, that will be a problem. It will change the whole analytics part, right? So what we need a secure environment for hosting the database. And in addition, it gives you the advantage of scalability. It gives you the advantage of maintenance free environment. You do not have to worry about any replication backups. And all these things are going to be provided to you by what? Azure. So it offers serverless relational database like Azure SQL database and Azure SQL dedicated pool, which is known as what? Which was earlier known as what? Data warehouse technology. What do you mean by serverless? Serverless means what? When we basically work in the on-premise architecture, we have to first create a server for our database that will be controlling different operation. But to make the things very easier, Microsoft Azure offers a serverless database. Again, I'm not going deeper inside this, but this will be helping you or the client which just want to focus on data and they do not want to worry about any server architecture. So if any of the client have the requirement to manage the data only, but not the server, which might be again a very big entity, then we can go for this architecture, which can be very helpful for those kind of clients. Microsoft handles all the patching and updating of SQL code base seamlessly and abstracts away all the management of the underlying infrastructure. So again, guys, I was talking about the same thing. Let's suppose I am working in a company, right? And I basically work in the IT department. I handles all the infrastructure issues and every single thing. So guys, you know that Microsoft make the changes time to time on different architecture. It launches the new version, right? It changes some kind of bug fixes. It make the bug fixes, right? So in this case, who is responsible for these things? IT person in the company is responsible for all these things, right? Patching, upgrading, handling the issues. But guys, when my database is not on premise, when it is in the cloud, you do not have to worry about it, right? So you are going to be just focusing on what? On your work, on your code, on your development. All the patching, updating, infrastructure issue will be taken care by what? By the cloud. So guys, you can see the cloud as a service provider. It is something like this. When you work in home and you live in your home, you use water supply, right? You use electricity supply from different electricity company or something like this. And based on your consumption of water and electricity, you pay the bill. That same thing. So Microsoft Azure is a service provider of what? Computing services. So I'm going to take database services. What is the amount? What's the compute size? What performance you want? Based on that, we have to just make the payment to the cloud. That's it. And cloud makes sure that you are getting uninterrupted services, right? 24 by 7, 365 days. So let's talk about what? Data migration, right? So this is again a very important part, data migration, guys. So as you can see, we have different on-premise databases and popular in the market. We have SQL Server, right, from Microsoft. Then we have the Oracle. It's very popular database company, right? Then we have MySQL, very popular open source database. PostgreSQL, MongoDB. It's a basically non-relational architecture. So guys, whatever database client having right now, whatever number of records they are having, we are able to utilize a service from Azure called what? Azure Migration Services. So this migration service is able to connect different vendors database. It provides a richer set of connectors. Now, what are the connectors? I believe some of you know. So connector basically are some drivers which help us to connect to different vendors database. It's not like this that Azure is from Microsoft, so it is only able to connect to Microsoft SQL Server. No. So you are able to connect to different vendors like Oracle, MySQL, PostgreSQL, MongoDB. It provides 90 plus connectors to different servers, different services through which we are able to connect, and we are able to migrate data from these vendors into the cloud, right? So integration is also very important part. Just think about it. For example, if I talk about government services of the US, so we are working on some projects right now, and we see that some of the government services projects are coming to the picture because they have a very legacy architecture. They are still using very older architecture, like 9 or 10 years old. But now the limitation has come up because of what? They are not able to upgrade their hardware, right? They are not able to implement different operations because of the limited capacity of the on-premise architecture. So what they want to do, they want to migrate the data towards the cloud application to get all the advantage I was talking about, right? So there are some of the clients who might be having not only one database but multiple kind of files. So recently we were working on a project and the client were having two kind of architecture. They also provided us what? Excel file, and they also provided us SQL Server database along with the JSON file. So it means there are different type of formats. So we are able to utilize the integration services along with the migration services that can first integrate data from different vendors, different sources, combine them, and then we can transfer them to what? To the Azure SQL database in the cloud, right? So this migration service will be helping to perform this kind of operation. So importing and migrating bulk data from on-premise database to the Azure SQL database has never been easier, guys. So you do not have to worry about, hey, how we can migrate data from the on-premise system to the cloud. It's very easy. So with the help of the Azure migration services, we can do it very easily, okay? We can use the power of the Azure to transform unstructured and semi-structured flat files, or migrate an entire database schema directly to the SQL database in Azure. So guys, this is a very important point, unstructured and semi-structured. So I hope you know what is unstructured. Unstructured data is not in the row column format, okay? It can be of any structure. Just for example, suppose you gave me the data of a black box of the aeroplane, right? Or suppose I got a data from a particular parking lot, parking meter, right? Or suppose I got data from the electricity devices, right? So these devices store data not in the row column format. Or suppose I got data from some kind of set-top box, which is utilized very much in watching television set, right? So guys, the data inside these devices are not stored in the row column format. The data which is stored in these devices is in completely different format. It is unstructured. How can I basically convert into row and column? But Microsoft Azure provide lots of services and algorithm that will be helping you to even transform that unstructured data into the structured format, right? Definitely, we have to learn some algorithms to how to convert unstructured to unstructured data, but this facility is also available in the Azure cloud. Okay. Let's talk about the performance. So this is the again one of the most important question in front of I would say different vendors. Now, suppose there might be a database in the cloud or data warehouse in the cloud. There might be a possibility after working for 2 years in the cloud, we have got the requirement of some new clients, right? So as I told you, we have to scale up the architecture. That is fine. Now we all know that a couple of years back, we faced a very typical situation all over the world called COVID situation, right? Because of the coronavirus and COVID, there were lots of businesses which got affected. The business got down, the clients left the company, right? There were no contracts from the new customers. So in this case, guys, Suppose you initially, let's say in 2019, you build one architecture in the cloud that was supporting 10 terabyte of capacity of data warehouse, right? It was supporting, it was having a compute size that was able to support 50,000 customer at single time. Okay. It means a good amount of RAM, cache, and other performance architecture. And suddenly we have got the corona situation 2020, right? Now what? So guys, this uh, is called resource fluctuation. So there might be a possibility that vendors sometime have a requirement to increase the size of resources in terms of processing power, in terms of cache. But what if my customer are not no more available? Let's say from 50,000 customer, I have only 5,000 customer after the corona situation. In this case, I do not have the requirement of a huge amount of RAM, cache, and server architecture in the cloud. So guys, you are able to degrade the architecture also. That is also very much available in the cloud. So this is called what? Elasticity. How the word come from? So as we are able to stretch the elastic, and again it come back to the original shape. In similar fashion, guys, you are able to not only upgrade or increase the size of your architecture, but you are also decrease the size of your architecture. You are able to. So in this case, suppose if my customers are no more available, I do not require very high-end architecture in the cloud, right? So now I can save my cost, right? So this comes under what, guys? Performance. Okay. So SQL database delivers predictable performance at multiple service level that provide dynamic scalability with what? No downtime. So guys, you are able to scale up or scale down the architecture. And the most important thing is what? Your server will keep working on. It will not having any problem. There's no downtime on the server. So still the customers who are connected with the help of some reports and dashboards from the data warehouse, that will not get affected. They can keep working as earlier, no problem, right? So it provides built-in intelligent optimization, global scalability and availability, and advanced security and options. So if I talk about the built-in intelligent optimization, as I discussed with you, it provides a dynamic scalability that help you to understand the utilization of resources. And as per that, you are able to optimize your resources to save the cost, right? Global scalability and availability. So scalability, I told you, we are able to scale up the architecture, but what is availability? Availability means what? Let's say suppose we are going to create a data warehouse in the cloud. So guys, cloud means what? It is nothing but some data centers of that particular company. So guys, Microsoft has 50 plus data centers all around the world. And let us suppose you made this data warehouse in the East US location data center. Now what happened? Just take an example. Now what happened on a particular day, the location where we have the data center, we got some earthquake, right? Or some disaster happened, and because of that the entire data center was destroyed, right? But Microsoft provides a triple replication facility in the cloud. So when we create any database, storage, or any architecture, by default it make multiple copies of that architecture or database in the cloud. It can be in the same location or it can be different location altogether. So in this case, even the primary location is not available right now, you are still able to access your data from the secondary location that might be central US, West US, or other location, right? So currently Microsoft has data centers in every continent, whether it's Africa, whether it's Europe, whether it is South America, North America, Australia, right? Everywhere you can find what, or Asia, right? You can find data centers from Microsoft. Okay. SQL database provide different performance level for different needs. So there might be possibility there's a person who have only 100 employees in the company and 100 customers. That particular person do not require a very high-end architecture in the cloud. So guys, once he is contacting to Microsoft Azure for support operation, we can suggest you can take a smaller architecture in the cloud and pay according to the architecture. Now let's talk about different company. It's a mid-level company. There might be possibility this company have near about 10,000 employee. So Microsoft offers a different kind of architecture, which is for mid-level, and they can pay cost according to that. And now let's talk about a very big organization, let's say Microsoft even, or American Express Bank, right? Or any other company, which basically have branches all over the world, multiple continents, and they might be having 1 million employees, something like this. So Microsoft also provide the operation for that kind of company. And the good point is what? Anytime you can switch from one layer to another layer. It means the most smallest layer where we have only 100 employee, if it's growing up in the future, they are able to scale up the architecture. In similar fashion, if any problem comes in the future, like I gave the example of Corona situation, they are able to scale down the architecture, right? So in this case, everybody can utilize the resources as per the requirement, and they can save the cost and save the money also, right? So let us talk about some data services types, okay, in Microsoft Azure, okay. Although again, we have different services, but I just want to talk about the most prominent services in the Azure right now for data. So first, we have the Azure SQL Server. That's the most primary component that we need to utilize for making a architecture for storing the data, right? Azure SQL Database. So database will be a collection of multiple tables, views, procedures, functions that is going to make an entity for implementing the database operation. Okay. But this database is providing OLTP, online transaction processing operation. Then we have the dedicated SQL pool, which is called data warehouse. Again, I hope some of you know the difference between the database and data warehouse. Database is utilized for current transaction. So whatever operation you're doing, like insert, update, delete, or anything that you're doing currently, it is the part of database. Now what's a data warehouse? Data warehouse is utilized for analytical operation. What do you mean by analytical? Suppose I give you data for the last 20 years of Walmart. And after providing data of Walmart for the last 20 years, I can ask you a different question. What kind of question? Hey, can you tell me that which location has got the most profit, which has got the least profit? Okay, can you tell me the profit year by year, quarter by quarter, month by month? Okay, can you compare the two location profit for different quarters or different month or same month? So I can ask you the products which is most popular, least popular in different location, different time zone, different periods. So guys, this is called analytical answer. Based on that, company take the decision for the future. So guys, this is nothing but what? A warehouse. So there's a huge difference between database and data warehouse, guys, and that is very important. Okay. Then we have the Azure Data Factory, short form ADF. It is also one of the most popular service for performing ETL operation. ETL stands for extract, transformation, and load. So guys, if you have to extract data from different sources, transform data as per the business requirement, and load data into the cloud or other architecture, we have a service called what? Azure Data Factory. So this data factory will be helping you to implement all the ETL operation in the cloud, and it is able to support both structured and unstructured data sources. So before jumping to certification, I would like to show you a small example from the Azure itself, right? Perfect. So guys, this is the portal from Microsoft Azure. You can see the URL. URL is what? portal.azure.com. So when you type portal.azure.com in the address box, it will open this kind of page. But yes, first we have to log in. So guys, we are the partner of Microsoft Technology. So we basically have some privileges of utilizing different accounts. That's one of the account from our company that we can utilize in the cloud, right? So if you have any school account, you are able to create a free school account also in the Azure portal, which give you limited credits just for doing some small demonstration or practical. That is basically Microsoft promotion strategy. Okay. So here you can see different things, guys, that I was explaining to you. So you can see SQL Server over here, but let's talk about more architecture. So you can see that we have storage account. This is very much utilized for what? Creating storage space. Dedicate SQL pool, right? It is utilized for what? Creating data warehouses. Database, right? It is utilized for creating database. Data factory. This is utilized for ETL operation. So if you have to extract data from local system and we want to transfer to the cloud, we can utilize the Azure SQL data factory. Then we have the SQL server to make an architecture in the cloud, server architecture in the cloud. Then we have the analysis services for SSAS operation, virtual machines. You can see lots of services are there, even that in terms of data, right? So when we talk about data service are very richer in Azure, that will be giving you lots of advantage, right? So if you want to work on these kind of architecture, so for example, just if I click on the SQL database, right? So you can see already we have multiple database created for earlier demonstration, right? And earlier examples and some of the utilized for some projects also. So guys, you are able to make any database at any moment of time, right? So you can see the performance also like DTU, it stands for database transaction unit. Okay. And once you click on any database, for example, if I click on this database, so you can see one option called what guys? Compute plus storage. Now that's a very important thing. Let me just click on it. Perfect. So this was the guys I was talking about. So guys, Microsoft offers different segment for different customer. Can you see service tier? Let me click on it. So you can see basic for what? Less demanding workload. Standard for what? Budget friendly. Premium for what? Highest availability and performance. So guys, as I told you, if you have any customer, let's say a shopkeeper or just a very simple single person handled company, right? Where we have 3, 4 employees or something like this, they are still able to utilize Azure with a very low cost. And if I show you the cost, let me just show you the cost. How much can you see? Only $5 per month, near about. So within $5 per month, I am able to utilize what? Microsoft Azure. That will be giving the advantage of what? Cloud. It means I am able to scale up the architecture in the future. I do not have to worry about now my database security, maintenance, and replication. Everything will be taken care by the cloud. Just in how much cost, guys? $5, right? But yes, in this $5, we are getting very small space. How much? Only 2 GB, right? Now let's say suppose somebody of saying Nitin, it's very less space. Can we go some little bit more higher end architecture? Definitely, guys. So we have second option called what? Standard. So when I go to standard, you can see I'm able to increase my size. So when I'm creating a database, suppose one of you asking Nitin, hey, can you help me to create a database in the cloud? Yes, definitely. So I am going to ask you, hey, how much space you want? Suppose you said Nitin 50 GB is sufficient for me. I said, that's fine. Now, this is called performance architecture, guys. It's difficult right now to explain to you, but more units you allocate, the better performance you'll be getting, guys, in the cloud. Based on that selection, it show you the cost immediately. So guys, based on that combination, I have to pay how much, guys? $300 per month. But this architecture will be able to provide you support for multiple customers. I would say 300 to 400 customers can be supported very easily. And in order, we are getting all the advantage, as I told you, scalability, elasticity, and maintenance free environment, right? Let's talk about a very high-end company, which have 50,000 employees or 100,000 employees, right? Premium. So if I go to premium, suppose there's a company, they want excellent performance, guys. They want to make sure if somebody's firing or executing a query, they should be getting the result in 3 milliseconds, 4 milliseconds, no more than that. They want that kind of performance. They want to satisfy their client. They have all the budget available for what? IT services. So in this case, I can go for what? A premium architecture. That might be more costlier, right? Okay. So you can see as per my selection, it is charging me how much? $900 near about, right? Okay. So guys, totally depends upon your requirement. You are able to select your architecture. And one more thing, guys, as I told you, any moment of time, you are able to change your architecture. So when I selected this architecture, if you remember, it was how much? It was basic at that time, right? But if I want to switch from basic to what? Standard, can you see? Just select the architecture, change your selection, and just click on what? Apply. So once I click on apply, immediately what will happen? The architecture will be switched from basic to what? Some high-end edition in few seconds even. It's very easy. So you're able to control the environment by your own. You do not need to learn multiple things over here, right? Okay. So you can find different services over here. And as per the requirement of data, SQL Server and other thing, we are able to use those services, right? Okay. So now let's talk about the certifications, guys, right? So Microsoft Azure Data Fundamentals. So first let's talk about some basic structure. So guys, certifications are always helpful to speed up your career performance, right? And you are able to get job easily if you are certified, if you have knowledge on that concept. So Microsoft offers multiple certifications, but right now I'm talking about data certifications, right? So Azure Data Fundamental Learning Path series can help you prepare for which exam? DP 900. So it's a very fundamental exam for data services. And the exam name is what? DP 900 Microsoft Azure Data Fundamental. So guys, this exam includes 4 knowledge domain areas. What's the first one? Microsoft Azure Data Fundamental core data concepts. So guys, if I'm talking about the core data concepts, very basic concepts of database, for example, what are the constraints, right? How you can perform data modeling, some kind of operation for entity and the attributes. So you should be having knowledge on core data concepts first, right? That contribute how much? 25 to 30%. Then second part comes is what? Relational data concepts. Now, when I talk about the relational data concepts, it talks about some relational concepts of architecture in terms of the relationship, joins, right? Some of the services from the Microsoft, so that you need to learn, okay? Then we have some concept for the non-relational data concepts, which is unstructured data, but that contribute very less, 15-20%. And finally, some data analytics concept. If I'm talking about the data analytics, it might be a little bit trickier, but we'll be helping you to clear certification after training. So analytics means what? It is not about transaction. It's about what? Analysis. So how we are able to extract the truth, extract the insight from the data. This is called what? Analytics concept. And it also contribute how much? 25 to 30%. So once you basically get the certification, you will be having good knowledge about basic core concepts of databases, relational database concepts, unstructured database concepts, and data analytic concepts, right? So if you want to get more information, so we can share the link in the chat box later on, and you can just, or you can just type in Google about the certification. For example, let me just click on it. Okay, so you can see there are lots of certifications available from Microsoft. So first select your category. So you can select, let's say Azure. I was selecting data engineer. So based on the selection and the concept, you will be getting different certification category examination. So for example, I was talking about this certification, DP 900. If I click on that, it will give you certification details, right? And it will give you like what kind of things you need to take care of. Okay. Everything you will be getting over here. Okay. How to prepare. Okay. So some basic things and knowledge will be explained to you, right? Okay. What is the costing of the examination certification? How can you take the exam? Everything will be available in the Microsoft website. Okay. I'm so sorry. Give me a second. Yeah. So guys, what you achieve actually. So obviously certifications and getting the trained in Azure, it's really help you. So you will be more confident. You will be more knowledgeable, right? It will be helping to boost your career potential. Obviously, guys, If anybody of you are interested for database services, how can we jump to higher service of data? We can get the information. It will be highlighting your expertise and build credibility. Because if you have certification on the resume, it means what? That you are expert on certain concepts, right? You'll be having higher earning potentials and improve security. Okay. So it is some statistics that we have gone through in the US about different jobs, opportunities, and different salary structure. Every salary structure I'm talking about, right? Okay, about data scientist, about data engineer, right? About data analyst. So guys, you are able to get different job roles after the data certification examination. Again, only one certification will not be enough, obviously, guys. But yeah, you can start at least from the data fundamental concepts. After data fundamental, you will get an eye opener from yourself. Hey, now I got the basic idea. Now I have to take a proper path. Let's suppose some of you is very much expert on the Python. So if you want to go for Python and data services, I would like to suggest data scientist or AI engineer examination. Okay. If somebody wants to focus just on the core database concepts, plus they want to make sure how we can provide maintenance activity on the cloud on databases in terms of replication, backup, performance, and every single thing, go for what? Database administrator, right? Data engineer. If somebody is interested how to extract data from different sources, how to write transformation logic, how to load data, all these concepts will be helping you to make what? A data engineer. What about data analyst? If somebody is very much interested to analyze the data, as I told you, like for example, if I give you 10 years of data Walmart in the cloud and I'm asking you, hey, can you provide me different answers based on some queries asked by the customer so he can take a proper decision for the future. So if you're looking for that kind of operation, go for what? Data analyst, right? So ultimately, guys, if I'm talking about in nutshell, database is the most important entity, right? What kind of problem we face? Hardware failure, right? So if you have on-premise architecture, your local architecture in your organization, in your company, suppose my server fails a particular day, hardware is not working. Did you arrange a backup server? No. Problem, right? Scalability, second problem. Right now, my server in the organization is able to support only 1000 customers. It has a limited functionality on the processing power and RAM. Now we have got 10,000 more customers next year, and they are not able to meet up the demand. It means we have to scale up the architecture on premises. Problem, right? Resource fluctuation. We have got a very problematic situation all over the world. Corona example I was talking about. I do not have the requirement such a bigger architecture. But if you have an on-premise architecture, guys, whatever you purchased, you purchased. You can't sell the architect or sell the part of the components of the system to somebody else, right? So this is the most problematic thing. But problem can be solved by what? By the cloud. Fourth problem, maintenance, right? I have to make sure my database is working 24 by 7, 365 days because my client can access my data any moment of time with the help of mobile application, with the help of web portal. And if my database is not working at that time, the client will not able to log or not able to get the data, and that will be a problematic, right? So these are the problem. So how we can bridge this gap, right? We can bridge this gap by this replication technique of Microsoft. It not only store data of database in single location, but it store data in the multiple location, right? Elasticity. We are able to scale up the architecture, plus we are also able to scale down the architecture, guys. So we are able to control the cost that we have to pay to the cloud, right? Similar, if you use more electricity at home, you have to pay more. If you use less electricity at home, you have to pay less. Same concept. Third, unlimited storage. No limitation, guys. Do you want 1 terabyte of space? You want 5 terabyte? You want 10 terabyte? You want 100 terabyte? Whatever you ask, it will be provided to you. So unlimited storage is available, right? So guys, what is my solution for bridging the gap? Azure Data Services. So guys, it provides data security. As I told you, Microsoft Azure has built a trust since multiple years to make sure my data is always secure. Unlimited storage, as I discussed. Low maintenance. You have to just pay a cost to the cloud and maintenance will be taken care by the cloud. That's it. So on-premise architecture, you do not need to hire some network engineers, some backup recovery specialists. No, nothing will be your responsibility. Just pay to the cloud, get the service. That's it. Improved collaboration. There might be a possibility, for example, right now I'm sitting in what? In Costa Rica location. There might be one of my colleague who's working in North America location. Some of my colleagues are in UK. We are working on a project, right? So we are able to store our data, our project information in a centralized location in the cloud, and we are able to collaborate over that information. That's very easy, okay? And backup and restore data very easily from the cloud. So guys, this is a very basic idea that I've given to you today because it is more complex that we are looking right now. But yes, data give you more opportunities for job roles, guys. We are able to because data is everywhere. So in this case, it not basically provide you the option to grow up in your career, but also give you the option that how we can provide a secure data to my client, right? So that is from my side. Yes, if you have any question, you can put on the chat box and I'll try to explain on that part.
Well, thank you, Nitin, for the informative presentation. Guys, if you have any question, please pop up your question into the chat and we'll try to answer your question. And if we do not get your questions during this webinar, we'll be sending out a follow-up email to all registered participants. And if you want more information, please email us. I have added our LinkedIn profiles, email addresses to the chat, so feel free to add us. Meanwhile, Nathan, as you told that there is a very fundamental certification called DP 900, right? So how long does it takes, to prepare for the certification?
Right, right. So if I'm talking about this certification, anybody who have some basic idea, because see guys, Azure provides you the knowledge on the data services that is more applicable to the cloud, right? But we expect those kind of person who some have some idea about the database concepts. For example, if some of you have gone through RDBMS concept, like what is normalization, primary key, foreign key, entity framework, right? Or somebody have little bit worked on SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL. Any person who have a basic fundamental idea about data, they can easily go for these certifications.
Okay.
Yep.
And on which languages do we have these certifications exam?
Yes, that you can find in the website. Obviously,
Microsoft website.
if you have Microsoft website,
Hmm.
and they will be give you, for example, if I talk about DP 900, I can
Hmm.
see right now English, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, Indonesian. So I can see 7 to 8 languages over there.
Okay.
Yep.
Great, great, great. Uh, let's see any questions. Okay, well, I think this is all the questions that we have for today. And thank you, Nitin, for this great presentation.
Most welcome.
Now, when it comes to upskilling and reskilling, CCS Learning Academy is designed to be your organization's secret weapon. CCS Learning Academy is one-stop solution for all your business needs. Our advanced talent solution gives you an access to pool the skilled tech professionals ready to deploy anytime, aligning with your business need and with no recruitment fee. Our network of talented and passionate instructors is ready and waiting to work directly with you, your team, and with your entire company. If you're new to IT or you are a new seasoned professional, we offer a wide range of courses for your needs. And if you would like more information, please contact us. Now, on behalf of CCS Learning Academy and Nitin, we thank you for your attention to this important session and hope you enjoy this session. Looking forward for our future webinars and stay safe out there. Thanks. And thanks, Nitin. Thank you very much.